our station. Your music, the sound of a new tomorrow with Imani Speaks. Imani Speaks.
From Philadelphia.
The Imani Speaks Show.
There was a man I knew who was smooth can be. His music, his smile, and his sweet melodies. Do you recall that mentor and the voice with the velvet touch? I'll never forget how he moved us all so much. Do you remember that special, very special one? I do remember how much that man has done. I can still hear his sweet song. Silky soul singer, silky soul singer, silky soul singer, silky soul singer. Hey, that man was smooth as silk as he danced across the floor. His music and his style made you want to see much more. And most of all was inside was a heart as pure as gold. I do believe that magic lives. It can never grow old. Hey, 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 hey.
Okay, we're on the other side of 11. Playing you music, Soul Child, and Silky Soul. And as I said to you previously, on the other side of the break, I've got a fantastic guest. His name is CL Brown. And CL, are you there?
I'm here, my sister. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Good night to your listenership wherever they are in this world.
Wow.
It is 6 a.m. in Miami.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God. So early. I'm so sorry, but, I'm so honoured and so much appreciate that you're able to come on and, your beautiful queen who made this happen as well. So, thank you to her as well. So, yeah, CL, please tell the listening audience, about yourself, anything that you feel is relevant.
So my name is CL Brown. I am a father. I am a partner. I'm a brother. I'm an uncle. I'm a son. I'm originally from Jamaica, so if you guys hear an accent, that's where it originates from. I was born in Mandeville, Jamaica, and I lived in Jamaica until I was 12 years old, lived with my grandmother, and then I departed when I was 12 and moved to Miami to live with my parents, my mom and my dad, and I've been here ever since. I write poetry, but I'm formally educated in IT. I have degrees in computer science, which is sort of the very far extreme of writing poetry, but somehow that happened along the way. And I love music. I love dancing. And I obviously love to write. So that's a little bit about me.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. And yes, it's so opposite, isn't it? But it just shows that you've got that full brain functioning going on, because you've got the creative side and the academic side. So yeah, when did you realise that you had the gift of poetry? Tell us about that.
So that was around about 10 or 11 years ago. I think it was like the summer of 2007, and these were the days of MySpace. So sort of before the Facebooks and the Instagrams.
Oh, wow.
And MySpace, they had a section on the website where you could blog. And so just one day I was at work. I remember like it was yesterday, and I just had these words in my head, in my soul, I guess. And I wrote them on MySpace, and I wasn't intended on writing poetry. I was just writing, and a few days after posting it, that was on my one of my followers. She sent me a message saying that her sister read it and her sister was crying. So that's what got my attention. And then maybe a few months thereafter, I created a Facebook profile. And soon after that, I decided to copy this thing from MySpace and post it to Facebook. Once I posted it to Facebook, just the response was phenomenal. People were asking me, family and friends were asking me who wrote it. And, it was to everyone's surprise, to my surprise. And of course, I didn't refer to it as poetry. I referred to it as freestyle writing, because I didn't know much about poetry. I studied some poems throughout school, through college and high school, mostly the Shakespeare's and stuff like that. But I had no idea what I was really doing, and it sort of took off from there on Facebook.
Wow. I mean, I remember MySpace, but I didn't realise you could blog on there. But that's amazing that you found that ability, and you inspired and you brought emotion to people. And that's the thing about poetry. It's like a pitch. It's like they say there's a picture that takes 1,000 words. It's the same sort of thing with poetry. You can actually draw people in a lot more easily and open them up to their emotions.
Yes.
You have got some of those poems with you today, haven't you?
I do.
Okay. So what I want to do is just to, get right in there so people can, just get an idea of what this is about, and then we'll talk a little bit more. So would you like to choose your first poem?
Yes, so I think what I do is I try never to really control the flow.
Yeah.
But if it goes this way, what I sort of would do is start with my first book, since I have 3 books, and sort of as we go along the interview, just transition to the second book and to the third book.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Yes.
Okay, so what I do is I read in the first book, the very first poem in the book is a poem titled Conversation. And since we're having a conversation, I guess it's sort of appropriate.
Awesome.
And so start with the conversation for you guys. She said, write me a poem. I said, you are my poem, already written, fused with every thought that traverses my mind. She said, read it to me. I said, I do that every time I touch you. I said, this pen led my thoughts, and every word was your name. She smiled. I said, I open my lips. I kiss your lips. I taste your soul. Now I crave you like never before. I traced the contour of her face with my fingers. She said, why do you do that? I said, I love painting your portrait inside my soul. I said, 1,000 places I have journeyed, but I am home only when I'm with you. I said, when I look into your eyes, I can't remember my lines. I try and try to remember past times, but I can't see past you. She said, tell me more. I said, your eyes are the doorway to my peace. I said, your mouth is an instrument, serenading my soul, playing for me the sweetest melodies, enchanting me as your lips move with the spirit of the spoken word. I said, I lose myself with every beautiful word that breaks your lips. I said, when you caress my face, you take all my strength. But I'm okay with that. I said, I'm staying. She said, where? I said, with you. I'm staying. She said, why? I said, because outside of you lies only death, and I so badly want to live. She breathed in deeply. She said, when did you write this poem? I said, the day you were born. Her eyes grew soft and her smile faded into the penumbra. She looked deep into my eyes and said, I do not understand. I said, when your soul was created, a void inside me was instantly filled. I said, till now I have waited all of my life seeking you, waiting to see you, wanting to touch you, needing to hold you. And now here you are in my arms, my beautiful poem. Her eyes flooded. Then I kissed them. Her smile resurfaced and asked my back. She said, I really love this poem. I said, I have always loved you. That's conversation.
Wow. Oh my God. Honestly, CL, that's just so beautiful. You know, the description, like I was saying, you know, you just transport people into this narrative, into this story. And, oh, wow. And, you know, I love that you're, you know, it's sensual, it's beautiful, but it's not vulgar. You know, it really sort of, you know, it's really soul, you know, kind of revealing. It really speaks to the soul. And, you know, that. And, you know, what inspired you actually to write Conversation? What was the inspiration behind that poem? It's just so beautiful.
So Conversation was written, because all of my poetry are written from inspiration. And Conversation, I remember the night I wrote it. I was dating this girl. She was from, I believe she was from Peru. And she didn't speak much English, and I didn't speak much Spanish. So we spent a lot of time speaking via Google Translate. And but she had this way about her when she looked at you, when she looked at me, it was like she was searching you. And I remember this one night, we were sitting on the couch trying to have a conversation, that was very difficult. And then she began looking at me. And it was almost, we were having a conversation in silence. And she was looking in my eyes, and I was staring in her eyes, and the words started to come. I just felt them coming. But I tend not to write in front of people. So as I felt the words coming, I knew there was a poem coming. And so I basically told her that I had to go. And I left. Once I left her house, I started writing, and I was actually driving on the freeway, on the highway here in Miami on I-95, and writing the poem as I was driving because I didn't want to lose it. So that's how that poem came about.
Wow. Yeah, I understand that. It comes through you, and you feel, oh my God, it's like you need to download it from the ether, and
exactly.
You can't, if you sort of leave it for later, it might dissolve, and you lose that momentum, that moment. Oh, that's beautiful.
Exactly.
That is so beautiful what you've said there. Also, CL, what I love is that, poems are, they're definitely sensual, they're definitely, but they're not vulgar, they're not rude, they're not sort of, putting down or berating, women.
Right.
And was that a conscious choice for you?
Initially, no. Initially, because from the very first poem that I wrote, it was along that same, it had that same feel, that same vibe, that same soul to it. And as I went further, as far as time is concerned, into the writing, I consciously made a decision to not write vulgar. And that decision I made because I remember thinking about the fact that I have sisters and I have nieces. At the time I didn't have my daughter. And I thought to myself, what if one day one of my nieces wanted to read my book? And I didn't. Right? So I didn't want them to read anything that I wouldn't want for them to read otherwise. So it was a number of years after I started writing that I decided consciously that I was going to go this route and just keeping it pure and leave out the vulgarities and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think as well that's what makes it. As you say, anyone can listen. A young person right up to your grandmother. You wouldn't be sort of like they wouldn't be sort of disgusted. And I think it's important because it's almost like the art of that sort of love and sensuality and saying reading beautiful poetry. We've kind of slipped away from that, and it's so lovely to see that you've brought that back, and given it as a gift. Can you tell us a little bit about your book, the book that this poem comes from?
So this is the first book, and it's titled "Loud Whispers of Silent Souls." And this book was, so when I was writing on Facebook, about 3-4 years I was doing that, and along the way people were telling me to write a book, you're talented. Of course I didn't see it as talent, I didn't believe it was talent, and I couldn't imagine someone paying money to purchase a book that I had written. And so when I decided to write the book, which was maybe about 4 years after the whole Facebook situation, maybe 5 years, I was writing poetry, I was writing poems, and I was telling my story, I was reading stuff, going through my emotions. And but as I was sharing on social media, I realized how many people were like connecting and understanding and relating to the pieces. I remember even there was a guy, he lived, I think he was in Mongolia, and I remember he reposted one of my pieces and he translated it into his language, and I was moved by that. So I realized as I was going through the title selection for the book, I realized that these poems weren't my poems. These emotions were not my emotions. They were just things that we all go through as humanity, as humans, So the loud whispers are those things that we all say to ourselves, we feel. Sometimes we can verbalize, sometimes we don't know how to verbalize. Sometimes we may be afraid of verbalizing. And so the silent souls is collectively all of us who go through these emotions of love and despair and, feeling inspired, feeling broken down and wanting to be in love and regretting the love that you lost and all type of things like that. So that's how this book came about.
Yeah, because the emotions is, all these emotions have been around for, as long as man has been on earth. And as you said, when you hear something that makes you feel, everyone, it doesn't matter, everyone can feel it, everyone can understand, everyone's got a story that they can relate that emotion to. And so it's beautiful that you're able to do that. And I love that, the story you told about a gentleman who, felt so compelled, felt so moved, he translated it into his own language. CL, I think it's time for another poem, if you don't mind.
Oh, sure. So again, continuing in the same book, Loud Whispers of Silent Souls. And this piece I'm going to do a much shorter piece. And this piece is titled Stay. When the morning comes and you've gone away, my arms hug your memory. My lips kiss the illusion. My eyes see the smile you gave after amazing love. And when the morning comes, when you've gone away, my heart still quakes. My skin is still stained with your fingerprints. My soul still smells like you, and I'd have it no other way. You should know my today I would trade for tomorrow, hoping tomorrow would be as today's eve. But my tomorrow can be my yesterday, if today you just stay. The end.
Oh, that's short and sweet, and again, just so much description in a short, in all that, just a short amount of words. CL, how important is it for people, whether it's people at large or couples, to speak, these types of words that moves and speaks to the soul? How important is it for us to, speak in that way to each other?
It is absolutely important, because words, there are many ways that we communicate as humans, mm-hmm. as friends, as lovers especially. Mm-hmm. And words can literally change one's life. They can change your outlook. And it's so important to remember to speak into each other, speak into your partner, speak into your lover, and speak into your girlfriend, you speak into your wife, your husband, your boyfriend. Because when you think about it, you can say something to someone and you can cause damage internally for years to come. For years, someone can try to downlive or to get past something that you said to them that really, really hurt them. And in the same manner, you can say something to someone and they could live 60 years after that. And they'll remember 60 years later, and 60 years later, they will still feel as alive, or even more so, just reflecting on those words that you say. So in this day and age where we see society has gone to a place where we begin to use negative words, and words have power, words are energy. And so you have negative energy, you have positive energy. And I see where we, as a society, we're beginning to embrace those negative words, those negative energies, and perpetuating those, and which is one of the reasons why I consciously choose to evoke and invoke positive words, to speak positively into people in general through my poetry. But it is absolutely important, and something that we can't lose sight of.
Yeah, totally agree with you. Words can heal or they can harm. If you look at the word words and turn it backwards, it's sword in reverse. So, or the letters make up the word sword. So it is very important, and it's true what you say. Someone, and this is why it's so important when you're speaking, when you have something important to share with someone, or someone's hurt you or done something upsetting. It's really important to sometimes, think first before you, kind of either, you get people sending all these text messages and not being able to, retrieve it, and then the damage has been done. Yeah, the damage has been done, and it's much better to maybe, count to 10 or, go for a brisk walk and then come back to the situation where you
Yes.
can be a little bit more, where you can
Absolutely.
be a bit more sober and, not end up in a regretful situation, But yeah, I love that. And, as you were saying, you are, your work that the work that you used to do as a computer programmer, how do your, the people that know you in that field, do they know about your work? Because I saw an interview with someone who seemed to be part of that world, and how are they receiving you as a poet extraordinaire? Do they get you? I think what I'm asking, do they get you to write poems for their loved ones? Maybe Valentine's coming up, that sort of thing.
Actually, yeah, I've had people come to me to write love notes for their lovers or to edit something that they wrote. But where I work, it's sort of, I don't think it's much of a surprise because I happen to work with some people that are great artists. One dear friend of mine, Dr. Mateo, he actually is the artist that painted the cover design for my second book here. And so he's a phenomenal artist, and he's also in, IT and computer programming. And we have other people on my team and within my company. We actually have a writers group in my company where we try to meet like once a month, and we discuss things we've written, and we write things. So it's surprisingly, you find that a lot of people that are in IT, they tend to be artistic, which is, it was a surprise to me at first.
Yeah, you wouldn't have thought that. Yeah, that's fantastic. CL, what I'd like you to do at this point, we're at the midpoint of our interview space, and I'd just like you to give any details you can about yourself, whether people want to contact you, or find how they can purchase the book, or how they can find out more about your work, anything where people can contact you.
Sure. I can be reached on pretty much all the social media platforms. So I'm primarily on Instagram, and it's author AUTHOR CL Brown. That's on Instagram. Facebook.com/author CL Brown. Goodreads.com/author CL Brown. My website is authorclbrown.com. And I also do have some videos on YouTube. I don't have an official channel URL as yet, but if they follow me on my website and otherwise, they can get to my YouTube. And I'm also on Twitter. Don't really post a lot on Twitter, but I'm on Twitter as well as author AUTHOR CL Brown. As far as the books are available worldwide on Amazon. Here in the United States, they're on Barnes & Noble, Walmart, the Books and Books, and I've searched some bookstores in the UK and other areas, and you can find them online pretty much everywhere around the world.
Okay, thank you, CL. And before we go to the next poem, I just want to, because you have two amazing women in your life, and I know the youngest, your little princess, means so much to you, and you've got all these beautiful photos, of her. And what was it, obviously being a poet who's really sensitive and, to energy, what was it like to become a father?
It was nothing like I imagined. I remember, because I've always, ever since I was maybe 6 or 7 years old, I remember wanting to have children. And so my daughter, her name is Luna. So Luna is, I like to think of her as the epitome of an answered prayer. She's everything that I wanted and more. I've always wanted to have a girl first. And it just everything about her, but it took me ever since the pregnancy, once we found out the pregnancy that my lady was pregnant, I made sure I went to every single doctor's appointment. I wanted to just be there, very active, very present from day one. And the night she gave birth, she had a cesarean section, so I was in the ER. I remember when they pulled my daughter out, and I remember cutting her umbilical cord. And I remember the nurse took her to my lady for her to have that first important drink, breast milk. And I remember standing there and watching those two and feeling unnecessary.
Oh,
Feeling.
I think.
But you know what it was? It was. I realized that my lady, she was under strong anesthesia. She could speak, but she couldn't feel anything. And I remember asking her, as Nina was sucking, I asked her if she could feel it, and she said no, she can't feel anything. And it made me realize that even in her weakest state, in that moment, that everything that Luna needed was her. So I sort of felt like a stranger on the outside looking in, like for a moment. And of course, I've gotten over that. Of course, understanding, realizing just how important it is for her to have her mom and her dad.
Absolutely.
And but I think for me, you always had that. This is my daughter. I love her. But I think for me, it was after she was born, and as the days and the weeks went by, and I started to bond with her. That's when I began to consciously realize how deeply I am in love with my daughter. So to be a parent, to be a father is the greatest thing. And I don't say that lightly. It is the greatest thing. It is work, but it is the most fulfilling work you will ever do in your life. So I sometimes say that Luna is like a sun that rose up inside of me and it hasn't set, and it will never set.
Wow.
So it is pretty incredible an experience.
Yeah, it's just wonderful to see, your love and your pride in, being a father, and seeing photos of you on Facebook, and it's, as you said, it's so important, fathers being involved with their children as well as mothers. They need both, definitely. There's no unnecessary parents at all. So it's just wonderful to hear your take on it, as especially as somebody who's sensual and sensitive, and I know as well your books is, even though your daughter wasn't born at the time you started writing, you already had that feeling that you'd want your child to be able to pick up your book at any age. And so that's beautiful. CL, I think it's time for another poem.
So I'm going to do one more from the first book, and then we'll transition over to the second book. And this piece is titled Soul's Mate. Tell me of the woman who touches me with purpose, and I will know my soul's mate. Ask me about heaven, and I will tell you about her eyes. Let her sleep quietly in my arms, that I may see her soul when she is most still. Try, if you will, to separate her from my love. Rather, try, if you will, to still the wind, because your chances are greater. She speaks of me with a tongue only the heavens understand. She looks at me, but sees not flesh. Her essence is sweet poetry rolling off my tongue. I taste her, then close my lips to savor the life she bequeathed me. So take the stars of the night, because she is my light. She will ask, and I will empty my soul, that she may have life. Her love is mine, and my love she'll have beyond the reaches of time. So tell me of the woman who touches me with purpose, and speak well of my soul's mate.
Wow. Another beautiful poem. And where was the inspiration behind that poem?
Soul's mate was, it was sort of, I was in that place where I was ready. I was ready to find the one and to be the one. And so that's why when it says, tell me of the woman who touches me with purpose, because a lot of time people can touch you, but they don't touch you with purpose. But when you find someone that touches you, and it's almost as though they are reaching far beyond your flesh and touching you on your soul, almost to wake you up. So it was. I was in that place of seeking that one, and just the one that puts you at ease, at peace, which is why it says, ask me about heaven, and I will tell you about her eyes, because when you find that you can lose yourself in someone's eyes, you've got someone special.
Wow. And, as you're saying there, soul's mate and being ready, and so I think it's something that everybody wants, but a lot of people are scared of. A lot of people are scared of going to that place of no return, when you sort of lose yourself in the you choose to say, yeah, I'm going to be in this, and I'm cutting myself off from everything else, from the past.
Yes.
And, I know with your poems as well, you get a lot of men who would like you to kind of help them to share this with their lady. And, how important is it for, someone sort of a guy meeting a woman, and he wants to really show her how he feels, and doing it in this format with poems. How does that work, and how important is that, would you say?
I would put it this way. I'll give you a few examples, because I go out and I read and I meet people. And I remember I read one night, and this lady came to me afterwards, and she said, now I understand what it is my husband has been trying to say to me, but he doesn't know how to say it.
Oh.
And that kind of blew my mind. I'm not sure if he was in the audience, because I met her by herself. And I remember another time I read, and a couple came out, and the guy came to me. He was holding his lady's arms, and he said, we came here, it was the same venue. He said, we came here a year ago, and you read that same exact poem. And now we came back tonight, and you read the same poem again. So a year in between. And he said he just knew it was something special, and just to see the look on his lady's face, and then I've also had those situations where a guy would come and say, I want to buy your book so I can learn how to get these ladies.
Naughty, yeah. No, the reason why I say that is because I don't know. I don't know if you know this, but in a woman's brain, there's 30 parts to a woman's brain where words, and this is why for women, they can literally, it can actually deepen the love if they're with someone who's speaking real loving words, positive words to them. So I'm not surprised that that men are coming to you and asking that, because literally women are built in their. I shouldn't probably say this now on air, because but every guy's gonna. But that's the situation. The way a woman's brain is, and it's got something to do with the emotional side of a woman, and how she's wired to love, and things like that. So that's one of the reasons
Yes.
why I feel, just asking you that question, that was the sort of, thing behind that. But I know I can't believe it, time is running away. So I know you've got the second book you want to read a poem from. So please, CL.
Yes, so let's get right into it. I do one from this book. This one is called Why. I asked the wind. Yes, the wind. It said, receive me into your soul. It is then I was bewitched by your scent. Now I cannot breathe without you anymore. I asked the trees, and they mimicked through dance the freedom I saw once in the gracefulness of your touch. Now I sit in the concert of countless leaves, hoping to relive you just once more. I asked the stars. They said we are ashamed each night she opens those eyes. I asked the moon, and she spoke of the blessing she was given each night she made her soul to freely roam upon your skin. I asked the sun. He said I might as well flee into the night, because the morning she rose in your sight was the last time you looked to me for light. I asked the birds. They danced and sang the most winsome song when they remembered your beauty, your grace, your elegance. I asked the honeybee. He said, if only my honey was as sweet as she. I asked the butterfly. She said her spirit bears a freedom that is the envy of my wings. Now I desire only to fly in the gleeful streams of her vibrant thoughts. I asked the clouds. They said, oh yes, we adore the melting of our souls upon her covering. Now I lay beneath countless droplets of the rain, hoping you'll saturate me once again. I asked the river. She boasted of her sensual curves carved as she meandered through your flawless figure. I asked the white lotus, purely gorgeous her flower. She said, I am but a whisper of the splendor she has to offer. I asked the fire. He begged for a sip of water. Said he sparked inside your soul and found his flames in complete danger. So you see, my darling, I've inquired of everything, and they've all said the same thing. You are the epitome of God's perfection, and that is why I love you. And even when time reaches a time when she needs more time, even then, I will still be in love with every single thing about you. That's why.
That's beautiful. Wow. And what's the title of that book? Where does that poem come from?
That is in book number 2. The title is Why? Why question mark? Why do I love you?
Okay, so that's so lovely, and I love the fact you bring all the elements into your poems, and it just kind of letting us know that we are one with the universe, and when you open that part of yourself and connect it with another person, that's where the magic really lies. It's beautiful. And how many more poems have you got? Because I'm just looking at the time, and I really want to get some more in. How many more have you got from this book?
Maybe 2 or 3 more if time permits.
Oh. And what about, I know there's a third book as well.
It combined between the second book and it, yes.
Okay. So is there anything else you want to talk about this poem, or do you want to go to the next one?
Let's go to the next poem, and then we can talk about it afterwards, time permitting, so just to make sure we get some pieces in here.
Exactly. Okay.
So what I'll do now is I'll jump to book number 3,
Okay.
This book is titled Awakening the Trinity. And I love this first poem. I'm going to do it, and this piece is titled Impartation.
Brilliant.
Should you close your heart to the misunderstandings of they which slumber in the teachings of love? There is something ethereally beautiful about a flower exhaling her last breath. For when she no longer bore the captivity of the soul, and the heavens reclaimed the aroma of God, I was smitten reading the love letters time composed into her moldering petals. I felt divine compassion streaming from both eyes, shedding pieces of her no one's ever seen. She gifted my heart the use of the pen. In return, inhaling her last breath in the labor of my fingers, engraving her essence into the soul of this poem, I gifted her wings freedom's direction. I wrote, unrelenting, mining her like priceless minerals from compressed imaginations. And so, she gave color to my musings, embellishing my achromatic existence, and I gave praise. For when she'd extricated herself from the snare of limited understanding, redeeming my irredeemable, I saw God in the petals of a flower, imparting to me the sacred teachings of love, and I gave praise. The end.
Beautiful. And, you know,
Thank you.
yeah, it is. And so much, you know, words of wisdom and spirituality there. And, you know, CL, what I would ask you, how important is your, you know, your spiritual, you know, your spirituality to your work when you're doing your poems? How significant?
It is it is so significant. It's I don't even try to put it in there. It just comes because I've always been spiritually minded, and you know, as you probably noticed that I speak a lot about nature, and
Yes.
I think that has to do with growing up in Jamaica and living on the countryside. And you know, for me, I've come to a point where I can literally see God in everything because God created everything. And so my spirituality is something that I live and breathe, and so on, it naturally comes out in the poetry.
So beautifully as well. You know, I definitely concur with you on that. You know, it's going into nature. It just, if you've got a really busy day, stressful day, and you go out and you just, you know, go to a park or just somewhere where you can just feel that energy and see the beauty of nature, it just changes you. It takes you to a new level of consciousness.
Yes.
And, you know, in terms of you're writing from a higher level of consciousness, and it's so important for us to spend time, you know, on higher vibrations and not kind of allow ourselves to tarry in the low ones. But yeah, that's absolutely beautiful. Again, CL, just we're down to 10 minutes. What's the next poem that you'd like to bring on for us?
The next one is titled "I Drink of You," and this is also in the third book, Awakening the Trinity.
Wow.
I drink of you, my love, like the deer having a great thirst for more of life, feet planted in the gentle flow of the noiseless water brook. He places his lips in its life-giving nature, taking sips of the water's kindness. So too I plant my soul in the gentle flow of your calm. And when the sacred essence of all that you are manifests in your flesh, I take sips of your selflessness. I drink of you, my love. And when I remove my lips from you, my entire being entirely satisfied, I give praise. The end.
Wow. Beautiful words again. Oh my God. And again, where was the inspiration behind I Drink of You?
I drink of you is sort of, it's from that place where you begin to realize that that love, and I say love, is your source of all things. And when you find that love in someone special, being that your husband or your wife or whomever. And for me, I like to sometimes go into the quiet place. Sometimes it may appear that I'm there alone, but I like to go there with my love. And that's why it says when the deer is drinking from the flow of the noiseless water brook, because she's the source. And when you can go there in quiet and just sort of take in everything, like you sit in the park and you sit quietly and you listen, and you feel and you experience that environment, so you can also go within your lover and experience them in that quiet place.
Yeah, that's beautiful. CL, if someone is if someone's sitting at home, or men are sitting at home and thinking, how can I reach my partner at that level? Maybe they can't use the words in the way that you can, but how can people open themselves up to? Is there anything that you can say that can help people to kind of not be scared, not be shy, not be fearful of being vulnerable? Because this is what this is about. It's about being vulnerable and allowing that real beauty, that real authentic self to come through.
Absolutely. I think Will Smith said, he said something to the effect of, the greatest things you'll experience are on the other side of fear. And to be vulnerable in a relationship, there's a lot of fear. But I think when you get to the place where you decide that I'm going to go there, I'm going to risk everything, because it is a risk. You can open up and not feel it reciprocated, right? But
which is
I
what
feel like
scared of, yeah.
Yes, but I feel like you will feel most alive if you go to that place with someone. And so if it's to find a common language, whether it's to read poetry together, whether it's to go to stage plays or musical concerts, or just go sit in the park and just find whatever it is that you guys can, that common ground where you guys can meet and really dive deep. And I think once you find that place, sort of like your sweet spot, when you play basketball and they say your sweet spot, and you sit by the baskets. I think when you find that sweet spot with your lover, with your significant other, I think it will flow naturally, effortlessly. But I think if you do not go there or attempt to go there, I personally think it's a huge disservice, because there's so many people in this world who are existing in relationships, but they haven't really got to the place where they can be broken. Because you can get broken, but I feel like it is one of the greatest feelings, because you feel so much more alive, than just existing. So find that one thing, find that movie. Sometimes I watch movies and they open my eyes. Find music. Music is my first love before poetry. So just find that one place that you can go, and you both can be vulnerable, and just let love happen. Sometimes we try to create love, but love doesn't need to be created. Love needs to be realized and recognized consciously and experienced consciously. That's what I feel.
Oh, I so agree with that. We're born in love, and we are love. We don't, like you say, we don't have to try to love. Just let go of the fear, let go of, all those things that, and realise that it's something, as you said, broken. When you're broken open, that's when everything can pour out and pour in as well. So it's not a bad place to be if, and if you're going to go there, if you're going to do anything, why not give it your all? Why only go into a relationship and only half be present and leave the best of you out of the situation?
And to add to that, I've always thought that when it comes to careers, when it comes to our education, when it comes to things that we like, we don't hold back. No one attempts a career and say, oh, I'm just going to do my very best just to get through. You go all the way in.
Yeah.
But when it comes to love, because once the heart is broken, it's so deep and it's so hurtful. So I understand, but also it is far more important to experience that love. I think having experienced it myself, it's very important and it's liberating.
Yeah, because they say on people's deathbed, they don't say, I'm so excited I made all this money, or I'm so excited I have all these things.
Right.
They say things like, I wish I'd, been braver, had more courage to go for that, that love or their loved ones, so, yeah.
Yes.
I just feel that, poetry and, as you just said about music, and I know that you're going to be putting a selection of your poems on with music, is that right?
Yes, so the third book, Awakening the Trinity, I'm maybe halfway through recording, and so it's going to be an audiobook, and it will also have background music, like instrumental music, again, because music is my first love, and it's just going to be a phenomenal piece.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be absolutely amazing. CL, we're down to the last 2 minutes. Please, can you give your details? And please, can you just share with us? You're so inspirational. Can you just share a few words of, wisdom, or if you want to read one more poem, just to inspire people and let them know that if they have a gift, if they have something they want to do, they can do it. Get out there and do what you have to do.
Absolutely. For me, when I started writing, like I said, it took about 5 years before I took it seriously, because people were saying I was talented. I didn't believe I was talented. But the one thing I learned from that experience is that I didn't write a book because I believed in myself. I wrote a book because I believed in the people that believed in me. Wow. And sometimes people tell you that be fearless and believe in yourself, but it's easy to say that once you believe in yourself. We all start at a place where we don't. And so if you feel like if someone is calling your name, it's because they're trying to get your attention. If someone is telling you that you're talented, that you can sing, that you can write, that you can act, that you have the heart of a servant and you should serve, and that you should start your own business, and you feel afraid, just choose to believe in the fact that they believe in you, and just keep walking. And I promise you that the time will come when you too will believe in yourself, and understand that you won't have everything that you need at the beginning, because if you had everything that you need at the beginning of the journey, you won't be able to walk the journey because you'll be burdened, right? Yes. So as you go along the way, when you reach certain milestones, you will find exactly what you need, because life will prepare the things that you need for the next mile, and for the next mile, and for the next mile. So just, believe in those people that believe in you. Just keep walking, because I believe that once you have that thing inside of you, that's a gift that you're supposed to give back to the world. You can try to run from it, but, we all see people, they become doctors, and then in the end they said, I wish I was acting, I wish I was dancing, I wish I was doing this and doing that. So don't run away from yourself. Don't run from yourself. And it's never too late. Never ever too late to start.
Late. Yeah. Oh, CL, thank you so much. And your website details again. We're right out of time, but yeah, just your website details again.
My website is authorclbrown.com, AUTHORCL Brown, and on Twitter, Instagram is authorclbrown, or facebook.com/authorclbrown, goodreads.com/authorclbrown, and if they go to bit.ly/CLBrownBooks with an S, that's my Amazon authors page, where all 3 books are listed, and they can read reviews and purchase. And again, they can find the books everywhere online: Amazon.uk, Amazon.Canada, Australia, the US, everywhere around the world.
So yeah, thank you so much, and thank you for being such a good sport, being up. I know it's, 7 o'clock for you in the morning now, yeah?
Yes.
Thank you so
yes.
much, and greetings to your beautiful family, and definitely, please let us know. Are you going to come back again?
I will.
Oh, thank you. Have a great day, and thank you so much.
You as well. Thank you so very much for this platform. Thank you to your listening audience for being here, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Be blessed.
Blessings. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.